So Vince, you were talking about the company that epitomizes great inventory management at the beginning of the show. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Amazon.
Okay, so this company, and I'd say this generally is probably a company you would discuss on the Tech Show with Dylan.
It's not Amazon? What are you talking about?
But this is one where I think their retail stores have become famous worldwide. They're almost like a tourist destination unto themselves. I think there was a fun fact on the board here in Full HQ that said that more pictures are taken of the Apple Store in Manhattan, I believe the one in Midtown, than are of the Empire State Building?
Yeah, it was the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
I maintain that that's because the Statue of Liberty is harder to get to. But, okay, so it's Apple.
Yes, it is. So here's the company that has the highest sales per square foot in retail. I think it's almost $5,000.
It's second only to, do you know?
Oh, it's first. Who do you think
per
it's
square
second to?
foot? It's second only to Tiffany's.
Now Tiffany's is number 2, actually.
You're kidding
it's
me?
Better
They
than
beat
Tiffany's.
it out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! All
right.
Sorry, Tiffany's.
In case you're not aware, just for some really quick background, is Tim Cook. When before he took over as CEO, he had a long tenure in operations for the company, and he is known for making major improvements when he joined in 1998 that really changed the ability for Apple to not only manage the huge demand that it would have for some of its iPhones and other products, but to do so very, very profitably. Mm-hmm. So, for example, he scrapped all of their in-house warehouses, all of their in-house manufacturing facilities, and went to the contract manufacturers that have become so famous, like Foxconn, for example. And something that allows them to do is, if you order a phone, it'll likely be shipped to you directly from the manufacturing facilities abroad, and Apple never even has to
do anything,
take possession of them at any time, and that's just very efficient for them. So, it's a really funny quote is that Tim Cook, he's basically several times he's used dairy products as an analogy for inventory. The idea being that kind of like the milk in your fridge, the longer it sits, the more likely it is to go bad. And he's even gone so far as to describe inventory as fundamentally evil. So it's probably a bit of a stretch, but he believed that inventory in hand would shed about 1% to 2% of its value each week in normal conditions, maybe even more so during a challenging retail environment. So it's really important to be able to turn this very quickly. So, with all that in mind, the numbers here are really impressive. So instead of having billions of dollars of parts, components, completed products sitting around in warehouses for them, they don't have to deal with that nearly as much with the contract manufacturers. So trailing 12 months inventory turnover for the most recently reported fiscal 2016, as of the most recently reported fiscal 2016 second quarter, 58.6 times. So blowing out even a company that sells perishables like a supermarket.
Right.
And then their average inventory balance during the period was only about $2.3 billion. So days of inventory, they can sell through it in about 6 days.
I just realized that when I bought my iPhone last spring, it was probably like a week old at that point.
So and I think the scale here is what really is just so incredible and hard to imagine is billions and billions of dollars of product, and they're able to maintain this really just well-oiled machine. So there you have it.
Their revenues were $50 billion. Yeah.
So
yeah,
with those numbers, Tim Cook is taking over, he might not. A lot of people will complain or argue that he's not quite the visionary in terms of design that Steve Jobs was, but he was also a huge contributor in his time there, both in operations and as CEO, in developing this model that. And the systems in place that allow Apple to be so profitable, to cut out the cost wherever he can, and to have these crazy numbers. Again, that's 6 days they can turn through their entire inventory.
And this is on revenues for the fiscal year ending September 26th of last year of $233 billion. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is just... I can't even conceive of just doing things that quickly.
So beyond some of the other sectors we even talked about, that's one I really wanted to touch on just because it is like this gold standard, I think, within retail.
That's awesome.